Now, a military mother with top secret security clearance is gunned down in her own home. Our Michelle Sagana is in Maryland with the very latest on the search for her killer.
She had a smile that would light up a room.
A beautiful 24-year-old Army mom placed a disturbing call to loved ones.
You instantly hear her hyperventilating. She's crying. She's, I can't breathe, I can't breathe.
Hours later, Karlyn Ramirez was dead, murdered in her own home.
I can't think of any reason why anyone would want to hurt my sister.
When cops found her, she wasn't alone. But the only living witness can't say who killed her.
People find their soulmates in their lovers. My sister was my soulmate.
Karlyn grew up in the small border town of Del Rio, Texas, a shy girl who would become a warrior.
Growing up, she was really quiet and timid. When she got out of high school, she blossomed. She was a risk taker. She had guts.
Especially the guts to go after what she wanted in life. Like leaving college to join the United States Army.
I tried, I bribed her, I promised her whatever she wanted. Didn't work. That's what she was gonna do.
After enlisting at 21, she was eventually sent to South Korea as a private first class.
She was scared at first. She'd never been that far away from me.
But Karlyn not only adjusted, she thrived and ended up falling in love with Staff Sergeant Malik Kearney. Then came the most welcome of surprises. She found out she was pregnant. Karlyn, a cervical cancer survivor, was told she would probably never have kids. She proved them wrong.
She was excited. She wanted a baby. That's her one thing that she'd wanted so bad.
2 weeks before coming home from Korea, the U.S. National Security Agency offered her a position in Maryland with a top security clearance.
She worked for NSA. That's all I can say. That's all I can know. Top secret, classified. I wasn't even allowed to touch her ID badge.
She couldn't tell me what she did. She would not tell me anything, no matter how much I dug.
Karlyn was happy at her new job, but the day she had her daughter, Dale, was the happiest of her life.
She goes, I love my baby so much. I have never felt love like this.
Eventually, Karlyn and Malik married, but he was stationed in South Carolina and the couple was often apart. Feeling lonely, Karlyn invited her sister Roxana to stay in her townhouse, located in a safe 600-unit community near Fort Meade, where a lot of military families live. But during a few weeks when Karlyn was away, a strange incident scared Roxana to her core.
I came back from work. I worked till 2 in the morning. The door was open, dog was let out, TV was turned on. She's in Texas and no one else has a key, and I'm like, what just happened? So I grab a knife and I'm like looking around all the rooms. That was like the worst experience I ever had there.
When Roxana told her sister what had happened, Karlyn shared a similar experience, but seemed less bothered.
She said it happened to her as well at some point. And they would just be like, oh, well, maintenance goes in sometimes. And we're like, maintenance can turn on our TV and let out our dog and sit on our couch and leave our door unlocked. They would just shake it off, like, oh, whatever, it happens.
A few months later, Roxana moved back to Texas, and a military friend of Karlyn's moved in.
Her friend Marissa was staying with her, and she had a little girl, and they were best buds.
Life was good.
Then one August night, Karlyn placed some alarming calls to both her sister and her mom.
She said, I don't know what's wrong. I don't feel right. I don't feel safe. You think my baby knows that I love her? I'm like, why are you talking like this? What happened? I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know.
She told me she was having a panic attack. And I said, well, Karlyn, what's wrong? And she says, it's nothing I can discuss with you. I automatically thought something happened at work.
Karlyn calmed down and Susan ended the call like she always did.
With I love you, always, always, always. And that was it.
I did not feel comfortable that night when we hung up, and I couldn't sleep. I sent her a text. My phone said she read it, so I really think she did. That was our last conversation. I feel like she knew that something bad was coming.
Something bad was coming. Something unimaginably horrible.
The next morning, I called her and she didn't answer. I called her again and she didn't answer. And then I texted her and she didn't answer.
Around 8 a.m. that morning, maintenance workers saw 2 dogs running loose.
When they went to corral him, the dog ran back into an open door in a townhome. So they went around to the front, they knocked on the door, and got no answer.
They called the police, and when cops arrived, what they found was shocking.
A dead woman.
That she has trauma to the upper body.
Detectives also found a baby in the same townhouse.
Karlyn Ramirez had been shot multiple times and was dead. 5-month-old baby Vale was there. Thankfully, unharmed.
This mother was murdered in cold blood. Her child left fending for herself.
A helpless child. Can't even sit up.
Susan was about to get the worst news of her life.
I looked out and there stood 2 uniformed people. So I already knew. We regret to inform you, like you see on television. It's exactly what it was.
Roxana found out her sister had been killed over social media.
My brother messaged me, and at first I thought it was a cruel joke. He's like, Karlyn's been murdered. And then my dad calls me. And that was pretty much how I found out. I'm sorry.
But who wanted this loving mother and soldier dead?
They keep telling me this is an active investigation. There's so many things that we cannot discuss with you. But
Coming up,
if he had anything to do with it,
investigators turn to the first person of interest in her mysterious death.